This is Amud Yomi. Welcome. Bruchim Abayim. So today we are learning brachos. Hope you might be able to finish the parak today. We're on brachos daf. I'm in the wrong set over here. There we go. Yeah. There you go. Like, why can't I find it? Wrong sefer. So on brachos daf nun aleph, Amud aleph. We're towards the top of the page, about 5 lines down, 3 lines down. Ba minei Reb Chaim. They asked the great Reb Chaim. He was one of the gedolim at the time, one of the greatest around. They asked him, "What's the din?" I feel very stupid because yesterday I spoke about this, having seen it, I guess, during Chag, and I've forgotten that I saw it and forgot who said what, but it's a gemorah. So, mi shachal, v'shasa v'lei berach. A guy eats, he drinks. He didn't make a bracha. Mao, what's it in? Sheyachsa v'yavarech. Should he now go ahead and say bracha? Meaning, you're having a slice of pizza, you forgot to make the bracha, you started eating, should you make the bracha now? Now that you've started, should you make the bracha? Or should you just finish a slice of pizza without saying a blessing? That's the question. I guess the kasha was, like, if you, I guess the Havman is like a mitzvah, you got to do a bracha before you do the mitzvah. Maybe here also you should do the bracha before you eat. Once you start eating, you're good. Now you can carry on eating without making a bracha. I guess that's what the kasha was. We're going to see. So it's a bit of a strange kasha. So he answered back to him, he said to them, and this is a mashal that the rabbis use over and over again. And people say it over again. Someone that ate garlic, and now he smells. So what should you do? You got to eat more garlic because that's going to take care of the original smell. In other words, you did something wrong. You can do more wrong. You're going to finish eating without making a bracha? Of course you should make a bracha. So the smell is bursting out. You should eat more garlic. That you should have more of a smell. How's that going to help you? In other words, of course, make a bracha now. What's your kasha? The guy's got a bad smell. Take care of it. That make it more of a smell. Yeah. Amar Ravina, says Ravina, Hilchach therefore. I feel like even if you finished your meal, you finished your slice of pizza, you're not eating anymore. Should you make a bracha now? Says Ravina. Even once you finish eating, you should make a new bracha. Even after you finish eating, now you should make a bracha. Even though you blew it. Even though l'chayru, the bracha has to be said before you eat. So
but you have to do something after you say the bracha.
No, he's saying you're done.
Oh, just drink it.
Yeah. You finish eating pizza. Now make a bracha number 6. After you finish eating, now you should do it. Even it's a massive chiddush. And some places, when I saw some Rishonim, I didn't realize there's a gemorah on the next page. Yesterday we saw they paskin like this. Do you have to make a bracha afterwards? Some Rishonim say this is a halacha, like Ravini, got to make a bracha afterwards. So that is chayra machlekes. I don't think we paskin make a bracha afterwards. There's no little letter there, is there? No. So we don't paskin like that. The Tanya, how do I know this? So what does he say? The Tanya. He's going to bring a proof. The Tanya. Toval, a guy goes to the mikvah, v'allah, he comes out, he dips in the water, he comes out, after you go to the mikvah, you should say, Asher Kedishanu, Baruch Asher Kedishanu, Mitzvah Tzivanu, ala Tefillah. So in other words, he's bringing a raya. You see, when a guy goes to the mikvah, when a woman's tovel, when a woman dips in the water, she makes a bracha when she comes out of the water, not before she goes in. After you dip, make the bracha. So here also, after you've eaten your slice of pizza, make the bracha. What's the difference? The gemorah answers, nah, v'laihi, that's not a good raya. Hasam, with the case of the mikvah mikar and gavra lechazi, the man wasn't able to make the mikvah. He wasn't pure. He was impure, so therefore he couldn't make the bracha. Or it's a was bracha. You don't need to go to the mikvah before you make any bracha. But obviously, if you're pure, it's a better bracha. It's a bit of a chiddush. You can't make a bracha if you're impure. Of course you can. Elamah, there's some type of missing. The gavra is missing something. The man, or woman, they're missing some type of kedusha. So it's better to go to the mikvah first, then make the bracha. So hasam mikar gavra chazi, hacham mikar gavra chazi. But here you can make a bracha before you eat. Why should you make the bracha afterwards? You can make a bracha before you eat. That's what you're supposed to do. So why should you make the bracha after you eat? Okay. So meaning once you blew it, you blew it. Is eaten, and he didn't make a bracha beforehand. The bracha's gone. You lost it. You lost your chance. You lost all possibilities. Now you blew it. Too late. Idchi. Tanarabanan. Now the Gemara is going to speak about something. It's a lot of gemorah talking about a certain medicinal thing that they used to drink. They used to drink, it was some type of wine or beer cooked with some type of vegetable that's like a cabbage. And they used to drink it in the morning on an empty stomach when they got up. First thing in the morning, they drank a cup of this wine or beer that was cooked with the vegetable. That's some type of cabbage. And it was called asparagus. So, asparagus This asparagus, nothing to do with, I don't think it's got anything to do with asparagus we call now today asparagus. It's interesting, maybe it is something to do with asparagus. We don't know what vegetable it was, maybe it was that asparagus stuff. Asparagus. It's good for the heart and it's good for your eyes. So, and all the more so is it good for your intestines, your stomach. So, asparagus, good for the heart, good for the eyes, and it's good for your stomach. Asparagus is actually good for your heart and eyes and stomach. If it's been pickled and all that stuff, it is good. It's got all sorts of things. I can't remember, we discussed it earlier. I don't know if this is what we're talking about, but and someone that takes it regularly, not only is it good for your eyes and heart, it's good for your whole body. If you take it regularly. And if you get drunk from the asparagus, if you get drunk from this asparagus stuff, it's bad for your whole body. So the Gemara is going to go ahead and understand. Since it says it's good for your heart, right? That means we're talking about wine. Why? Wine is good for your heart. You see, the Gemara says wine is good for your cardiovascular. Some Persia Gemara 2,000 years ago. Wine's good for your heart, right? Good for the cardiovascular. So, and it says it's good. Also, all the more so is it good for your stomach. Okay. Vatanya asks Gemara, have a brisa. The brisa tells us, Lelat yofe, leramat kasha. What's lelat? Lat is Rosh Tevis, leiv, ayin, tchol. It's good for your heart, eyes, and tchol is like spleen. Leramat, for your reish. Leramat, Rashi says, what's leramat is Rosh Tevis? I forgot already, hold on. Leramat is kosher. Reish is reish, ma'ayim, and tachtoinim. Your head, your stomach, and your tachtoinim. I guess you're going to the bathroom. It's kosher. It's bad for. Kitanya, so the Gemara asks. So you see here that for the stomach it's bad. Ramat is bad. For the stomach, ma'ayim is bad. Why did you say that it's good for your stomach? This asparagus stuff. So Gemara answers, now there's two types of asparagus. Kitan Hebrew Miyushin. When is it good for your stomach? That's when it's old wine. In other words, if you make asparagus out of new, fresh wine, is bad for your stomach. If you make it out of old wine, yain miyushan, which has been in a barrel for 2 years, that's called like an old wine, then it's good for your stomach also. Kidisnan. There's a Mishnah. It says like this, Kidisnan. The guy gets up in the morning, he says, Kainim yain shanitayim shayain kosher bnei bai. Shayain kosher bnei bai. Guy says, I'm never touching, takes a vow, I'm not drinking wine anymore, it's bad for my stomach. Right? Because wine, he says clearly, I'm kainam, it's a chayrim, it's kainam, it's a neder, he takes a vow, he's not drinking wine because wine is bad for your stomach, right? He spells it out, shayain kosher bnei bai. The wine damages the stomach. There's a guy standing right there. He says to him, he says, yeah, but old wine's good for your stomach, right? Good old wine's good for shasak, and the guy keeps quiet. He doesn't say, I don't want to drink that red wine, the old wine either. Meaning, the implication is he accepts this opinion that old wine is good for your stomach, and therefore he's allowed to drink. So what's the din? He is allowed to drink old wine, he's not allowed to drink new wine. Shmamina. So you see from here that old wine is good for your stomach. New wine is bad for your stomach. And that's why one Brisa says that asparagus is good for your stomach, one says it's bad for your stomach. When it's old, it's good for your stomach. When it's new, it's bad for you. When it's old, it's good for your stomach. I think I needed some asparagus this morning. I got knocked out last night. So we still haven't left asparagus, Baruch Hashem, we're still dealing with asparagus. They say 6 things about asparagus. Okay, what are the 6 things you need to know asparagus? You can only drink live wine. What's live wine? We said wine chai is straight out of the barrel, it's syrupy wine, before you mix in water. So you have to use live wine before it's been diluted. Umole. It's got to be a full cup. The implication, I guess, here is that this is something that's kind of spiritual. It's not really, it's not a purely physical thing. The Taisa says mole doesn't mean a full cup. It means maybe a different masech. I think that says you've got to have a full stomach. I don't know. Umole. The Pasha says it's got to be a full cup. Who cares if the medicine's a full cup or not? The Kabbalah be mean, the Shai say small. You got to pick up the cup with your right hand, transfer it to your left hand. What? Who cares? This is obviously not the type of stuff we're used to in medicine, right? You're not allowed to talk after you drink it. Like, wow, okay, something's going on inside there, don't even talk. You're not allowed to stop. If you drink the cup, you can't stop in the middle. Slug it down in one go. One shot. You can't give the cup back except for the person that gave it to you. Someone gives you a cup of asparagus, don't give it to someone else. It's contaminated. You got to give it back to that guy. You're supposed to spit afterwards. You have to spit out afterwards. You're not allowed to. Hold on. What does this mean? You have to lean. Rashi is lachol achrav miyad. You're supposed to eat right away. Sorry. You have to eat right away. As soon as you finish having the asparagus stuff, you got to eat right away. B'minoi, but with the same min. This vegetable that's in it, you got to have the same thing after you eat it. The Bryce says you have to eat bread after you have this asparagus stuff. Oh. Like kasha. So do you have to have the vegetable, this asparagus stuff, or do you eat bread? Like kasha. The Gemara says no. If the asparagus is made out of wine, then you drink bread. If you make the asparagus out of beer, then you have to have barley afterwards.
Oh, we're talking about asparagus?
Yeah. Tanechada, one Bryce says l'lat yofe l'ramat kasha. V'tanya ilich l'ramat yofe l'ramat kasha. So there's 2 Bryces. One says it's good for this and bad for that. The other one says exactly the opposite. It's bad for that and good for that. What is it? It's exactly the opposite. Sometimes it's good for your heart and sometimes it's bad for your heart. It's never neutral. So the Gemara answers, but the chamra, but the shechah, yeah. If it's made out of wine or beer, it has exact opposite effect. If it's made out of wine or beer, tanya chada rak reikach orav leika. One bride says if you spit afterwards, you get sick. But tanya edech loy rak achor leika. If you don't spit afterwards, you'll get sick. Like kasha, the chamra the shechah, not a machlekes, not a kasha. It depends if you're drinking wine or beer. On Ravashi, hashadam loy rak achor leika. Now that it says if you don't spit afterwards, a person could get seriously sick. Even if you drink the stuff in front of a king, you got to spit out in front of the king. Because if you don't, even though it's rude and it's dishonorable and disgraceful to spit in front of the king, he's gonna get very sick if he doesn't spit. Amishua ben Elisha says Rabbi Shmuel ben Elisha. Shleisha dvarim sachli surreal saraponim. Surreal, the internal minister. It doesn't mean the internal minister down here. There's a saraponim upstairs also. This angel called Surreal. Surreal. The saraponim. The Rishonim say, why is it called the saraponim? It's an angel that goes l'fnai v'lefnim of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He goes so that he sees the face of Hashem, the internal minister. So he said three things to Rabbi Shmuel ben Elisha. In the morning when you get up, don't let your servant, your assistant, give you your clothes to put on. Put it on yourself in the morning. Dangerous. Take the clothes yourself. In the morning when you wash your hands, Nagelwasser. Don't take water from someone that hasn't washed his hands. Don't give the asparagus cup to someone else. Only give the asparagus. I guess this is why he's bringing this gemorah over here, Reb Elisha. This asparagus, you can only give it back to the person who gave you. Why? These are two names of two demons, angels of destruction. They look at the guy, they're looking at this person, when will this guy do one of these things and then I've got him, then he's mine. Then I'll get the guy. In other words, this is a way of saying that the angel told him, the surreal said, don't do these things, it can harm you. Amar Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi, interesting gemorah here, Yeshua ben Levi says, the angel of death told me three things. We'll see why. Now, it's interesting because Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi, he was an Amor, he lived hundreds of years later, after Reb Chaim ben Elisha. And there's a lot of gemorahs where he was dealing with like Malach HaMoves and Eliyahu Novi and Anwar. He was very connected to the spiritual realm. So here, Malach HaMoves told him three things. I guess it was a chiddush even that he told him the secrets, just because you meet him. Who says he's going to tell you, give you the advice, right? But he told him, you should know, I'll give you three pieces of advice. The same idea. You're not allowed to take your clothes from someone in the morning. Dangerous. And don't wash your hands if someone didn't wash his hands. And then that we had from Yishmael ben Elisha. But now it says a new din. When women come back from a levaya, don't stand in front of the women. Don't stand in front of the women. Women are walking back from the levaya, from the kaver. Don't stand in front of the women. Why? The Malach HaMoves, the angel of death, he says, I'm walking back with those women, with this big sword in my hand, ready to strike. And I've been given permission to damage, to harm. In other words, the implication is that normally the Malach HaMoves say he can't harm. He's not allowed to, but here he's allowed to. Why specifically women?
Yeah.
Very good question. The real truth is I've got no idea. But what someone would say is that if you're trying to look for a more practical, non-esoteric, Kabbalistic pshat, the women are much more emotional, and they're coming back from someone died, they're coming back from a vice MS. They're much more emotionally volatile than men are. They're much more emotional. there's depression, there's sadness, they're emotionally all over the place. And what's going on over here is that it's dangerous that the women should see you because they're more in a more emotionally volatile state. So you don't want to be there to be, you don't have to be menachem them. They might look at you funny. I don't know. It's that's the problem. There's some type of men and women hanging out together in this situation by a levaya. That's what the problem is. And therefore, if you're in a situation where you're in a makom of a Sahara, so the Malach HaMovis he's more dangerous. Maybe.
Okay.
Take it or leave it. So, definitely the Gra, I think, says women should never ever go to basic forest. And the minute Yerushalayim is women don't go to the basic, they're not malav the mace. They go to, if there's the speeches, the thing in the funeral, they go to the funeral, but they don't follow the dead body they don't follow the mace to the keva, they don't do the vaya, right? And that's what we're talking about over here. And l'chayr, that's where the minute comes from. And women are not allowed to go. That's dangerous. It's a sakana. Not because we're worried about the women. I'm sure we are worried about the women. But because for the men that are waiting there when they're on the way back, that's also dangerous. Okay. It happens to be one of the big, happens a lot. I've been to Levi's and you can have a big machlekes between the women who are emotionally volatile and someone just died and some
they want to go.
And some Eidah Chareidis guy that's like, I don't want to, and they do it very blunt and,
A lot of European native girls don't.
Oh yeah? So a lot of times it's a problem when chutzniks come here, they don't know the rules and they've seen their whole life, things working the other way. And they come here like, what, I can't go? Yeah. So they sneak out and they do it and they try and it's like, it becomes very uncomfortable. Says the gemorah, so the Malach says, when the women are coming back, I've got my sword in my hand, the yeshivs lechabel, paga. What do you do if you bumped into a woman on the way back from the keva? Ma'atikanta, what should you do? Linshif meduchte abama, jump, take a jump 4 amas away. Ikan nahara liver, if there's a river there, if there's like a stream, jump over the river. I guess the Malach HaMoves doesn't like to jump over rivers. V'ika daka chuin, if there's a different road you could take, laserball, run down a different road. V'ika guda, if there's a wall, leika chora, if there's a wall there, go stand behind the wall. V'lai, if there isn't, what you do, lahada ape, turn your face, look the other way, v'lema, you say the following pasuk. V'yema Hashem el Satan, Hashem said to the Satan, to the Satan, Yiga Hashem b'cha, v'chulei. Ad d'chal f'minyan, until the women pass by him.
There's a different problem. This is where other sensitivities come into play. Ben Adam Chaver.
Right, but it's a sakana, so you don't have to worry about Malach
No.
I'm kidding. I don't know. It's a good kasha. What do you do? So you can say this pasuk, Yiga Hashem b'cha Satan. Just important to know why are you saying this pasuk. We're talking about the Malach HaMoves, angel of death. What's it going to do with the Satan? What did he do? So the gemorah says that the Satan and Malach HaMoves, it's the same angel. It's the same guy.
Really?
That's why I say Yiga Hashem b'cha Satan. That's what's going on over here. The problem is with the Satan. He's got evil inclinations over here. He's being pushed to do bad things. So that's why you say Yiga Hashem b'cha Satan. Amar of Zera, Amar of Vo. Says Rav Zera in the name of Rav Uvamela b'masnisa Tana. We learned 10 things. Asara advarim ne'emar b'kasher bacha. 10 things. Fascinating gemorah. One of the most important gemorahs you're ever going to learn. Listen to this. One of the most important gemorahs. If you want to have shefa in your life, if you want to be blessed, says the gemorah. You Hashem. Asara ne'emar b'kasher bacha. You make it when you bench. You pick up the kasher bracha, right? Tana dacha, you should wash it. V'shtifa, outside and inside. The dacha is outside, shtifa is inside. Chai, the kasher bracha should be chai, not watered down. So some say, what do you mean? It has to be watered down, right? How do you drink it chai? It means put it chai in the cup and then put water in. Or some say it means it should be a fresh cup. It shouldn't be like, bench on wine that's been sitting in a cup from beforehand. It should be purposeful. Umale, the cup should be full. Itur, we're going to see in the Gemara what that means. it should be wrapped, and ito, you should cover your hair. Ituf means cover your hair. Ito means it should be crowned, right? So you should pick up the cup with 2 hands and transfer it to your right hand. You should pick it up the 10 centimeters, the tefach. You should look at the wine. And some say, some say you should even send the cup of wine to the people of your house, to your wife. The Meiri adds here, send it to your wife. Says Reb Chaim, we only do 4 things. What are the 4 things? Hadacha, shtifa, washing it outside, inside, chai, umale. It should be full and it should be chai, raw wine, or the cup should be purposeful. You should have poured it for that reason. Tana hadacha b'fneim. What's hadacha is inside? Shtifa mebachutz. You should wash it inside and outside. Amar v'yechanan. This is a fascinating gemorah. This is what it's saying. It says the gemorah, Kol ha'mevarech al kois male. Anyone that makes a bracha on a full cup of wine, he will inherit an inheritance, bli mitzarim, no borders. He will inherit without borders. Shenamar, how do you know this? Umale birchas Hashem yam v'daram yerasha. So someone who makes a bracha on a full cup of wine, shefa, incredible shefa. Nachle bli mitzarim, boundless shefa. He will inherit 2 worlds, this world and the next world. So, what is going on over here? Why, if you make a bracha on a full cup of wine, are you zeicher to such incredible shefa? What's going on? This world, the next world, nachle bli mitzarim. It's like it's a pella, no?
Yeah.
Are we referring only to Shabbos?
No, we're referring to anytime you bench. For
For
sure, if you have 3 people, you're supposed to use. Sure, if you have 3 people, you're supposed to do a kais mole. You're supposed to do a kais, lechatchila. Some even say if you bench by yourself, you should have a kais. Even if you bench by yourself. Huh? Anytime you bench, and you bench over a kais, yeah. So what's going on over this? So l'chaira, where you could, I don't know, first of all, I don't know. I'm too small to give my opinion. But l'chaira, what's going on up here? The only bracha you ever make that's doraisa is, for sure, birchas hamazon. Birchas hamazon is doraisa. That's a classical bracha. When you make a bracha, if you do a bracha properly, you're going to be zeicher to nachle bli mitzarim. What's a bracha properly? What's a bracha? Bracha is understanding who is the makar bracha. Hashem is a source of all kindness, all goodness. Hashem is bracha. The Rishonim say, Amud Yomi, I think it says, bracha comes from brecha. There's like a pool up there in Shemayim of goodness, of shefa, and the bracha is like a pool that flows down, or avalanche, a waterfall of shefa is coming down from Shemayim. And that's a bracha. You say, Baruch Hashem, you are the source of shefa. You, God, are the source of this kindness, this bounty, this goodness that's flown down to us. So when you say a bracha, for sure the bracha is daraisa. You hold a cup that's full, it has to be kais male, and it's spilling out on the side. That's resembling the shefa. You actually appreciate what's going on. There's tremendous shefa in the world. Hashem's pouring the shefa on you. So if a person is able to understand that, internalize that, you're holding up, you're thanking Hashem, and you're visualizing, you're actually holding a cup that's overflowing with shefa, with wine. You realize how much shefa there is in the world, then you're zeichet Hashem shefa. In order to get Hashem shefa, all we have to do is realize, internalize that He is the source of shefa, that He's pouring down on us this shefa. And when you do it on a kais male, so you feel it much more, you feel the shefa. Wine is like the most valuable of all foods. And you feel it, when you feel Hashem shefa, you'll be zeicha. So the first opinion is, you'll be zeicha to shefa in this world. The second opinion is, no, not just this world and the next world. The key to getting into Olam Haba, the world to come, is to realizing, internalizing that Hashem is the source of shefa in your life. That's what we're here for, to develop that connection with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And when we realize that He's the source of the shefa, we'll be zeicha to this world and the next world. Not just this world, not just the next world, both. That is how you get to the Bizaycha to Shefa in this world and the next world. Okay, I think we're gonna have to wrap it up over here. And why dafka by birchas hamazon? Because that's the bracha that's doraisa. At least the one bracha that's doraisa, you should do properly with a kais. Okay. Some want to say, how do you know that you don't have to? If you drink a kais, if every time even when you bench by yourself, it doesn't say you bench only with 3. You have to have a kais, right? Anytime you bench, you can have a kais. I know someone every time he benches, he has a kais. So how do you know that you don't have to have a kais when you say ala michya or ala gefen? Maybe every time, even a bracha mein shalish, you should have a kais. Why just birchas hamazon? Maybe the bracha mein shalish should also have a kais. So the Rishonim said that can't be, because you drink your cup of wine, you have to say ala gefen. If you have to have a kais for the ala gefen, you can sit there forever and ever drinking cups of wine. It can't work. So it's got to be that ala gefen doesn't need a kais. The birchas hamazon biyachad does need a kais. All right. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day. What a privilege.